everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of 5 Minute Fridays. I'm Miranda.
I'm Bill.
I'm Dan.
All right, well, let's go ahead and dive right in.
First off, we decided we were spending way too much time talking about our equipment, so we're just going to tell you we're streaming to YouTube, which you know because you're on it. We're using vMix Pro 21, soon to be 22, we hope. Come on, guys. We're using a PTZ Optics USB 20X camera, and we're using vMix Social, and I haven't upgraded the mouse pad yet. That's important. And we're running the whole thing from our X-Keys XKE124 T-Bar with an optional switching kit.
Yep, all awesome stuff.
This guy in between us is Bill Stelzer. He is the original PI graphic artist. He designed, the legend is the original logo you designed for a Snickers bar.
That is true. That is true. I think I was promised more, but I think I ended up with a Snickers bar because that was the only thing that was available in the college vending machine.
What year was that?
That would have probably been like 1980. I was only 2 or 3 at the time, but this was like 83, 84. I was very young in college.
All right. Well, we only have 5 minutes, so and we want to talk about the Lego Studio, which you were an integral part of.
Yep.
So I have it live here, but I took a bunch of stills so we could talk about it a little bit. It's a 3-camera newsroom with using these little Microsoft webcams. Bill, you designed the set.
Yes, this is true. I worked for the ABC affiliate in Austin, Texas years ago, so I was drawing upon those experiences, and Dan basically came up with this brilliant idea to show how everything worked together, and like I said, we can escalate that. And next thing you know, I was on Bricklink and ordering Lego pieces from all over the planet.
You see our little camera operators. They have monitors we printed out on the piece of Lego that's similar to what the image that they're shooting. They each have our X-Keys logo on their back, thanks to Miranda and our now printer. But Bill, the set. So what is that? That is like how many layers of Lego are in that?
It's really important to overdo these things, and one of the beauty of Legos is that you can take, say, maybe air vents from an X-Wing fighter and throw them up on your new set. So I felt that was important. I was kind of stuck. I'm in the Virgin Islands, so there was a big old box of Legos, so I was using that, but then I was also scavenging things off of various Star Wars vehicles that I would then put back later once I could replace them. But yeah, this set is, I did a little research on new sets and tried to come up with a suitable facsimile that would be beautiful on camera.
And this is our technical director, and if you look very closely, you'll see that he is using the XKE124 T-Bar.
And an XK24.
And an XK24, so he's well equipped with X-Keys. His monitor is actually a screenshot that we took out of vMix, so it's authentic.
Yeah.
And let's see. I had an email earlier today. Someone who knew you were coming on the show sent in a question for you. This is from Mike Walton.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
Can you read that?
I can't.
Hey, Bill, huge fan of your work, especially your flat Earth dissertation. I recently applied for a job, and they gave me one of those abstract brain teaser questions that I couldn't answer. I'd love to hear your take so I can improve for my next interview because I didn't get the job. The question was, how long would it take an adult human male to buy 6 cupcakes in New York City? Looking forward to your response, Mike Wall.
Well, a question like this is always answered in a range of possibilities. And I think most people today with a smartphone could probably get those cupcakes within, say, 20 to 30 minutes, including the walk. But because modern times have retooled what the human brain is now able to do on its own without the technology, there's no maps. The place was underground. I couldn't find it. People standing next to it couldn't find it. In fact, it was guarded by people in uniform.
This was Magnolia Bakery.
This is Magnolia Bakery underground in the subway.
In the subway.
But all I had was
in Manhattan.
a screen grab that showed it in the middle of an office building. So if I wasn't an Eagle Scout, it would have been 5 hours. You know.
There are about 6 inside jokes within this thing, so I'm sorry, you guys, if you're not all in it. But
I got those cupcakes.
We were at NAB last week and in New York, and we sent Bill out for cupcakes, and it turned into a quest.
I don't have a smartphone.
So there's our 5. We covered some stuff. We're going to wrap this, and we will take your questions and have more fun in the post show.
Yep. See you in a minute.
Bye.
And we're back.
We're back. So one of the things we didn't get to in the show, Bill, was the brilliant open that you designed for the QTPI Newsroom. So I want to play that for everybody right now. If you switch us over to the
Yep.
side. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I actually, like I said earlier, I used to work for the ABC affiliate in Austin, Texas, and actually worked on actual news opens. And all this was a long time ago. And so when, Dan had this great idea of the Lego news set, it's like, it needs an open. And I am a huge fan of a bit of comedy. And so I thought it would be hilarious to have our anchors to be interviewing in places where they could not actually go without wearing a spacesuit or being dropped out of a helicopter, but as if they were.
6 there for Amanda.
So we have Fiona Factoid. She's on the moon. She's interviewing one of my favorite Lego astronauts. And then we also go to Quentin Quest. And you can't have a Quentin Quest without some kind of underwater submersible. And Quentin is such a professional. He does not even need any kind of deep sea diving suit in order to do his work. And the inspiration for this, and I don't want to spend too long, but I do a lot of work with scientists down in the U.S. Virgin Islands and from the Caribbean. And a friend of mine, absolutely brilliant guy, Eagle Scout, he had the funniest video in the world, which is basically back in the days when cameras were really expensive, and they broke one of theirs. And so they took it underwater just like as comedy, and they were like using it underwater without a housing, like a $5,000 camera without a housing. And it was the funniest thing ever. So that was sort of the inspiration behind this was, And then this was really difficult to shoot. Anytime you're shooting in a live tornado, you're dealing with turbulence like you wouldn't believe. I paid the helicopter guy extra because
to hang in there.
Yeah, because these guys, my Lego guys, I dropped multiple ones out of the helicopter. That was the secret behind the shot. Like I had about 20 banana guys, 20 cow guys, and I would keep dropping them and photographing until it was right.
You get that cow just right, upside down, and
and exactly, and so many of them.
Amazing.
It would be perfect, but then the helicopter would rock to the side and would blur it. So it was tricky to pull off, but when you nail it,
we appreciate
nail it.
this.
Yeah.
I mean, we do appreciate all the effort you put into this. So, and it shows. It really shows.
Thanks.
It's
Thanks.
awesome.
I think it's good to take pride in your work and B, escalate it as much as possible because it pays off in the long run.
It does.
We have any fun comments? Any questions? Comments up the wazoo here.
Comments. All right, we've got Legos are so cool. Stream Geek says, good looking setup. Rudy says Streamy's taking a nap.
Streamy is the little Lego we made for Rudy.
Oh, okay.
Yo.
You named him Streamy.
Let's see here.
Hey, thanks for all the comments. I live for praise.
Dan, your head is still on upside down.
Thank you, Martin.
Let's see here.
I'm trying to grow that beard on the top of my head, Martin, but I just...
Yeah, I didn't get the memo.
not
I shaved my
working.
beard off right before the.
Maggie says, Bill, what do you use X keys for?
That's an interesting question. I use X keys to photograph for X keys covers. Adobe products. I'm going to say Adobe.
And,
You're
working on a new
I'm working
jogging
on
shuttle video
new
for
jogging
us
shuttle
right
for
now.
Premiere. Yeah, where
Yeah.
everything will finally be good to go. I don't want to brag, but I had a small role in the creation of X Keys Jog Shuttle, mostly just because I wanted one.
And when you're best buds with the president of the company,
Yeah,
it's
so,
that
yeah.
you have a little bit of influence.
And you're stuck on a flight back from Vegas, sitting next to each other.
That's fair.
And you've already read the in-flight magazine.
All right.
Any questions in there?
No, that was the only question we got. Everyone loves the Legos. It's awesome.
It's hard not to love Legos. I'm suspicious of people that don't like Legos.
Right?
Although I give them, they may have stepped on too many, so it's like you got it.
Brilliant stories, Bill.
And when you, our next trade show will be NAB in Vegas in April. And we'll have the Lego Newsroom there. And when you come and actually switch it, you'll see, again, taking things to extreme, as Bill has taught me. I have it laid out in production form, so you can start from the left with the open and work your way through the news stories until you get to the close, including the weather report. Let's let me punch up. We've got, Dan Sinclair moonlighting as Bobby Banana, doing the weather with pointing out the storms with his banana. We have, oh dear, her shot's no good anymore. Yeah, her shot went away.
This is what happens.
We've got this diving story. So we cover everything. Is it? Where's the one I want? Yeah, it is news that goes to 11. I did everything I could to take it to 11. I hope I got there.
Yeah. And we can also throw a little bit up about the QTPI 3.14. I was kind of proud of myself
That was
for
you.
coming
Yeah,
up with that.
the
Yeah.
call letters.
Good.
The call
Yeah.
letters and the station number. Of course, pi is very important to us here.
Yeah.
So
And Q is actually a radio, so I was cheating. Normally it would be a
Well,
W or a K, but
a lot of radio stations are live streaming now. So we
yeah,
could
so
make
there
a
you go.
case that this is their live streaming news report. So I could
Absolutely.
we can cover that one for you. Got your back.
I've got 2 questions.
2 questions.
What's the velocity of a falling cow?
Is this in a vacuum or is this terminal
I was
velocity or
going to
this
say,
with?
did you reach terminal velocity in that
Yeah.
tornado?
I mean, generally what'll happen is in the beginning you have, there's always you start from 0 and then there's a speed up. And, but that was the interesting thing because where I was photographing was so close to where I was pushing these things out the helicopter, they were falling actually quite slowly in that initial moment, probably measured in inches per second, probably.
It's kind of like when the coyote runs off the cliff.
Yeah.
There's that
Moment, yeah.
moment
Yeah.
before he realizes he's off the cliff, and you've got that.
Yeah, and that was one of the big challenges because you just had that tiny window to photograph. Because if you waited too long, not only was it falling, but also spinning around, so you can get blurs.
I think we covered that one.
I think so. Will the Legos have their own show?
We would like them to have their own show, and in a perfect world, we may expand on the capabilities of the X keys and have some surprises in store in the future.
You never know.
Never know.
Never know.
Let's see here. Martin says, I love switching the set. It was so much fun.
And Martin was really excellent at it, too. He took it seriously. He went through the whole stream. I know the Lego guys, Fiona and Quentin, told me afterwards they were impressed with your skill set. how you just sat in and picked it up right away. Bobby had some complaints, but he's a whiner, so
Yeah, he's a very temperamental ego. I mean, when he's on, he's on. But yeah, Quentin and Fiona, we can't say enough about them. I mean, solid people,
professionals.
wherever you put them, whatever, throw them on the moon. Like, we could have reversed that shot. We could have put Quentin on the moon, Fiona underwater. They both would have been solid. It wasn't like they have. You can throw them anywhere, and they're brilliant.
Yeah, professionals.
Another comment from Maggie. It says, I can't talk. It is honestly a great way to show how you can use vMix and Xkeys to run a live show. I agree. I think a lot of people get the connection at the shows and everything when they see the two together.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun to watch people stick their hands down. In the near future, hopefully we can have faces pop up over the set.
Bill, how is it working with Dan? We are all friends here, so don't hold back.
Oh.
You know,
It's from Martin.
I can't say enough good things about Dan. I really can't. And years ago, I was on a bikini shoot, and this is a true story. And they were into astrology, and I'm a man of science and art. And they were saying, "Oh, let's read your astrology thing." And I'm like, no. Because you always think whatever you hear is, oh yeah, that pertains to me, and let's switch it up. So I heard Erica, who is our bikini model and also a news anchor, and it's like, okay, tell me yours, and then she'll hear mine. She told me hers, and it was obvious that it was for a news anchor / bikini model, and then when I heard mine, which was actually, it was mine, but it was pretending it was hers, which was dead on mine. I cannot, according to astrology, but according to astrology, I cannot make a false compliment. And these guys are awesome. These guys are awesome. Like, I'm just lucky to be here.
And astrology is a science.
It used to be a science.
Science doesn't lie. Oh.
So yeah, Dan is awesome. Miranda's awesome. I'm just lucky to be here.
Thanks. We're happy that you are here.
Well,
Right,
this
that's
was
about it.
like way too much fun, especially for something we threw together at the last minute. We've been planning this for months, in hours.
Yep.
Anything else relevant before we say goodbye to everybody? Or
No,
irrelevant
I
even?
think-
No.
I think we're good. I think we hit mostly everything.
All right.
Right.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Well, thank you.
Yep. Hey, thanks.
We'll see you next week.
See
Thanks
you
for coming
next
on,
week.
Bill.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.